In this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys about compound propositions and how to use logical operators with them. So, if you don't know what the AND or XOR, let's make the X look better, XOR and NOT operators do, I'll have a video for that down in the description. But if you do, continue watching this video. So, what is a compound proposition? Well, we have two statements here, P and Q. And the statement P is, it is raining. And the statement Q is, Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. Well, how do we write this in sentence form? Well, if we have P and Q, right? This is the AND logical operator. How do we put this in sentence form? Well, we can put this in sentence form by looking at what's first. P is first, so we write down it is raining. It is raining. And we have the AND logical operator. So it is raining and Q. Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. So this right here, Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. So this right here is the compound proposition. It is simply the sentence that is combined using the logical operator AND from two individual statements. Now, you can actually modify these a little bit. So, what if instead of the AND logical operator, I write OR? Well, with the OR logical operator, we can make a sentence that makes sense, right? It is raining or Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. Now, clearly, it's not raining or Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. Usually, you would use the AND logical operator, but this is just how the sentences are combined together. The sentence does not have to make sense, and the sentence doesn't actually have to be exactly, it is raining or Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. You could have written down it is raining or he grabs an umbrella if we mention Jeffrey in the first sentence, right? So these sentences don't have to be exactly, what you wrote down. They could just be somewhat, they could be interpretations, okay? They could be different interpretations as long as you get the point across with these sentences. Like, for example, instead of grabs, you can write goes for. Right, or it is raining, or Jeffrey goes for an umbrella. Okay, that still makes sense. It's not exactly word for word, but you can modify it as long as it gets the point across. Now, how about the not logical operator? Well, if we have, let's erase this. Let's keep P the same for now. Let's write down P with the AND logical operator, with the not logical operator, and Q. So what does this do? Well, we're combining P and not Q, right? So what is not Q? How do we write down not Q in this case? Well, we can write down not Q by writing down AND first, and then writing down the opposite of what Q is. So Q states that Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. So what's the opposite of this? Jeffrey doesn't grab an umbrella. That is the opposite of what Jeffrey's doing in the sentence. So this not operator kind of changes the sentence. Again, doesn't have to be word for word, doesn't, right? It could be just different ways to say these in sentence form. And I'll actually show you how to say all of them, or at least the most common ones. But let's go ahead and keep talking about the question. Jeffrey doesn't grab an umbrella. And umbrella. Now, this right here is the opposite of Jeffrey grabs an umbrella, and the reason why we wrote the opposite is because we put the not logical operator here. So the not logical operator just kind of states the opposite of the sentence. If we wanted to write down not P, right, this would be it is not raining. So, or it isn't raining. Did I spell that right? Yeah, I spelled that right. Okay. Or it isn't raining. Right? It doesn't have to be word for word. Maybe you could combine some words like is and not into isn't. But you don't always have to use not. And you don't always have to use and. So a couple of the ways that you can see the AND logical operator is with AND, as the name of the operator is. You can also see it as but, and you can also see it as also, right? These are all ways that you can interpret the AND logical operator. So So you can write down, if we wrote down P and Q again, we write down it is raining, but Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. This could also make sense. And if you see this in sentence form, right, you'll know how to reverse it, right? So sometimes the reason why I'm stating these words is, well, we could just use and every time. How are we supposed to know that? Well, sometimes on your exams, a problem might just give you the sentence, and you have to write it in operator form, or with the little symbols. You have to write it in the symbol form. So knowing what words correspond to what operator helps a lot if you want to reverse it back into this little guy right here. Right, the not sentence form, the symbol form. But this could also be also, right? So the and logical operator could also be the word also, right? It is raining, also Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. That still makes sense. They are both, they both kind of show the same, they kind of both mean the same thing. These sentences both mean the same thing if we wrote down also and. Right, both the same thing. Now, how about the or logical operator? Well, the or logical operator is this guy right here, right? And it could be written as, let's use the equal sign because that's what I did before, or, self-explanatory. Otherwise, and alternatively. Now, most of the time you're just going to see or, right? But, and, also, all make a lot of sense. I don't know in what cases you would want to use otherwise or alternatively, right? But most of the time you're just going to see or, but I'm just saying these so you're not caught by surprise when you see these words. But with the or logical operator, you can write this as PQ and just simply replace the little, I don't know, what's it called? Conjunction? You know what? I haven't taken grammar in a very long time, but the word in between the two sentences, okay? And it is raining, or Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. It is raining, otherwise Jeffrey grabs an umbrella. Otherwise, right, with a comma after. I don't know if there's commas on the left or right. Doesn't matter. But these are just different ways you can interpret the or logical operator. Not is quite self-explanatory, so I'm not going to cover that. Right? Not is really just not. Actually, not is really just like not. Now, I didn't use the other sentence for the next logical operator because we are using exclusive or. The other sentence probably wouldn't have made too much sense with exclusive or, so I'm going to use exclusive or with this new little sentence. You can have T is the P variable, and you can have milk, which is the Q variable. And completely off topic, there's a person on Instagram. I don't know if this, bro, you guys are probably going to watch this a couple years from now, because right now I have I think I have 303 subscribers. I don't know. Maybe my channel will blow up. I hope. But there's this person called the Milk Molester on Instagram, and she just drinks like an entire carton of milk every single video. I really don't know how she does it. I don't like milk that much. But there's people I know that really like milk, and they have like 3 glasses of milk every day. Their bones must be very dense. But maybe a doctor would disagree. I don't know if that's actually how it works. But right here, this is the exclusive or logical operator, and the exclusive or logical operator could be stated as one or the other, but not both, right? Now, the reason why I'm saying this entire thing, and this probably wouldn't be even written down in a sentence, is because this is how the statement goes, right? One or the other, and you can kind of fill in the blank with one and the other, but not both. Usually you'll see but not both at the end of the sentence. So an example of this would be, if I write down P plus Q, it would be you can have tea or milk, but not both. So this is the kind of format that I was talking about. You can have one or the other, right? Tea or milk, but not both. Right? So The but not both is usually what gives it away for a exclusive OR sentence. So if you didn't know what the the symbols were for this, right? You just saw the sentence, you can have tea or milk, and you were given P and Q. You would be able to write down P exclusive OR Q, and you would know that this is what the sentence is, right? And you can actually combine this with P, not Q. Maybe I'll just add a little bit more, but you can P exclusive OR not Q. You can have tea, or you can not have milk. Not have milk. I guess this statement is just, I just put the not in there to show you that you can use nots in here as well, right? Because these are called compound propositions. There's probably more than one logical operator most of the time. I've been showing you guys very simplistic examples, but that's how you use the exclusive OR.